please welcome to the stage Callum Hurley and the rest of the 4J Studios dev team.
All right, so welcome to Reforj. Reforj is a creative sandbox game. We're going to get more into the details in a second, but for today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking some build suggestions from some of you in the audience. And Joe here is going to pick the favorite suggestion, and our master builder, Scott, is going to have about 20 minutes or so to build it as best he can. And while he builds, we're going to talk a little bit about the game, how it works, what makes it unique, and the reasons that you should play it. So yeah, why not go ahead? Everyone take a few seconds just to think about what you would like to see Scott build.
And he's good as well. He's really good. So he's been...
No.
He looks nervous now. He's been very confident leading up to this. So think of what would be really difficult to build quickly in front of a crowd of however many people are here. And this is... You see a bit of Reforj here. Obviously, we've got heritage in Minecraft, but one of the big differences with Reforj is that you can sculpt the shapes. So don't just think of cube things. We don't want him to build pixel art. He can build circles, he can build slopes, he can build columns, all sorts of shapes. So if you start having to think of what would be a fun challenge for him to build on stage, and then, yeah, we'll get some suggestions.
Excellent. And when you've got a suggestion you want to make, if you maybe put your hand up, I believe we've got someone who will be able to come to you with a mic to get that suggestion to us. We've got one down here at the front. We'll come down to you, I guess. You can yell it.
An observatory.
Okay. What do you reckon, Scott?
Reckon you could build an observatory in about 20 minutes?
It wouldn't be a good one, but yeah, I could try.
Have any other suggestions?
We get a few suggestions, and then we'll pick our favorite.
I'm going to stand up a bit, because my hearing's bad. Yume, what are you suggesting? Sorry, I'm not catching a word of that.
We're going to bring a microphone coming soon. We'll save your voices so you don't need to shout.
Absolutely, we don't want anyone losing their voices. So someone's going to grab a microphone, so you've all got a few more seconds if you want to think of some suggestions. As we were talking a little bit about there, our sculpting shapes, if you wouldn't mind bringing the sculpting wheel back up on an element.
What was that, sorry?
If you could bring the sculpting wheel up on an element. Just want to talk about some of the different shapes we got. So, and this is expanding as well. It's worth noting, we're currently in a very pre-alpha state. We're working very closely with our community on feedback and ideas to build out the game from a very early stage. But already we've got a huge subset of different sculpts. For instance, here we're seeing stairs, we've got slopes, all sorts for your creativity. It looks like we've got the mic. Excellent. Let's take that suggestion again.
Hello. You know that giant statue in Rio, the one with Jesus with his arms out? I'm expecting eye and mouth details, by the way.
So sorry, it's really, I heard giant statue. Could you catch that?
The giant statue in Rio, where it's like Jesus with his arms out or something.
Oh, well, the one in Brazil.
That
build
one.
it up here.
Do you want to build?
Someone better at geography.
We've got observatory, the giant Rio de Janeiro statue on the hill. You know,
Really
the one.
testing my memory on how to build these things.
You said you wanted a challenge. Right, if we maybe get one more
at least.
Oh, there's a few more over here. Maybe if you're really good, you could somehow combine several ideas into one.
Can you build a Weatherspoons?
Build a Weatherspoons. That's the one you got the most experience with, at least.
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay, should we pick out of those three?
Let's pick one.
Yeah, I think I like the idea of trying to somewhat combine them all.
Combine them, okay.
Yeah, so I think Weatherspoons is the base, but also Weatherspoons that happens to have a giant Jesus statue and an observatory in.
Okay.
Do you think you can do that?
Yeah, go for it.
Take it away.
Let's do it. Right, we're going to combine all three. We're going to try. What we're about to see built is going to be a British institution, believe me.
It's funny, in my head I had the ideas of the sort of things people would shout out.
Yeah.
I would never have guessed this, but I'm looking forward to, I kind of almost don't want to look and then just look at the end and just get the grand reveal of whatever ends up being on screen.
Okay, Wilkins.
Have we lost your mic?
How's that? There we go.
Okay, we're good.
Apologies about that, everyone.
Right, so while he builds, we'll check in with him and kind of talk about what he's building a bit, but while he builds, we're just going to sort of I guess a lot of you might not know what Reforj is, so we kind of just wanted to introduce what the game as it is now. As Callum said, it is really pre-alpha, and like a lot of games obviously nowadays are launching in early access, but this isn't that, we're not even at that stage yet. Like we literally showed the game when we'd worked on it for less than a year. Like we showed it to the public, because the idea was really initially to get feedback straight away, rather than go off for years working on a thing and then saying, hey, do you like it? And then people say yes or no. We could kind of include people immediately. So we, even at this stage, we're only on the Xbox Insider program at the moment, but we already have like a very active community on Discord giving us feedback and shaping what the game is going to be. And that's been really great. Development's been really rapid. So we're talking a little bit about the game as it is now, but then also, I guess, kind of what our longer term plan is. Like, what do we think Reforj will be when it's 1.0, when it's out?
Absolutely. And I think we start off at a very base level. While I'm sure a lot of you will be familiar with this type of game, like Minecraft, for instance, was mentioned earlier, you may not have. So I think let's go from a very base level. There are two key game modes. There's creative mode and survival mode. You're currently seeing is creative mode. You have access to all of the different elements at once, and it's really designed around you being able to build. But why don't you talk to us a little bit about survival mode?
Yeah, so survival mode is, as you kind of guess by the name, so it is a sandbox survival game. Survival mode, there's survival mechanics, there's food, there's farming coming very soon, a little bit of a tease. There's actually a very big update, our biggest update ever, coming next week. So there's a lot of exciting things coming very, very soon. And then we have a lot of dangerous mobs and some friendly mobs in the world. And the game's running on our own engine. So it's called the Elements engine, and it's built for the ground up to run this kind of game. And so it's really efficient at certain things. Like you can travel at extreme speeds. It's really good at destruction. So hopefully we might see some explosions a little bit later on. But because it's built from the ground up, it means that anytime you kind of want to add a feature, it's kind of up to us. We haven't got any limitations of kind of using any third-party software, I guess, which is one of the good things.
Absolutely, and the custom elements engine that you mentioned there allows us to do some really cool things, particularly like the way the world loops and gateways as well, which are coming to the game. Can you talk a little bit about both of those?
Yeah. So that's one of the interesting. So the worlds, they're not infinite. They're about 4 kilometers by 4 kilometers. As Callum says, it loops. So it's not technically, like, if you zoom out, you don't see it as a sphere, but it essentially is a sphere. So if you keep walking in one direction, you'll eventually end up right back where you started if you keep going in a straight line. But what I was talking about for like the long-term plan and what we have kind of working, not in the game publicly yet, but on the tech level, is these gateways. And the way the gateways work is they allow you to link several worlds. So you could imagine you load up in a brand new world, you spend your time building, playing with your friends in that world, and then say we release a new update that adds new ores or new structures that generate. Rather than needing to load a brand new save or travel really far in the distance for new terrain to generate, you can build one of these gateways and get a fresh new world, and then you can go back and forth between those worlds, and so you kind of extend your gameplay session that way. And then the longer term plan is to then be able to customize those worlds. So you could say, hey, I want a lava world, or I want an ocean world, or I want a world that is really rich in this resource. You'll be able to affect what worlds you create. And so you could have, this is the world I go to for mining, because it's got really good mines. This is my holiday home world, because it's really pretty, and I really like the way that it looks. And so we can have all these vastly different worlds that you can build a network with gateways, which once again, isn't in the game as it is publicly now, but that is kind of the direction that we're heading in.
Absolutely, and something we only very briefly touched on earlier, the world generation. So whenever you build a new world, it's not necessarily the same, for people who aren't familiar with these type of games, it's not the same world every time you boot up a new file. And it generates these massive worlds within, 10 seconds or so, 10 to 15 seconds?
Yeah, really quick.
And there are some really impressive things you can find. I actually wonder if I can distract Scott to briefly show us in this world here. You can find some really interesting world generation, particularly this one here. We managed to find a world that generated naturally this massive volcano.
And these are really rare. I've never I've
It's
never
really
had one
rare.
of these naturally show up, but it can happen.
And one of the most fun things about it is it was actually one of our players that found this. And when talking to the team, it was something that was built in early on and is just an extremely rare chance of spawning. We've still not found one naturally internally yet. So when a player came forward in our Discord and said they found this mountain, one of the cool things we can do is when you generate a world, you get a seed number. You can actually kind of see it at the top of the screen. And you can share that world generation with others. They can input that seed and generate it. So if you find something particularly cool, you can share that with players who can find them as well. So, and we've actually, in the big update we've been talking a little bit about, we're making some changes to our world generation. We're adding a bunch of cool new things. You want to talk a little bit about that?
So talk about what's coming in the new update.
A little bit about some world generation, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so some of the world, I mean, one of the big things I like is we're getting new trees. There's a new design for the trees that look really nice that's coming. And then one of the big things is we're going to have some structures that are spawning. So the way we're dealing with storytelling in this world is we've created our own world. It's kind of like sci-fi adjacent. Like it's a high-tech civilization, but it's not based on kind of our technology. So there's this substance which we call aura, which is in all living things, which powers things. And so they will have advanced technology, like things like vehicles we're going to have in the future. There's a signal system which is coming soon in the update, so you can power things and open doors and turn on lights and create systems and things. So they'll have a high-tech things, but it won't look like any real-life Earth things. But they're not around anymore, this community, this civilization, but you'll be finding the remnants of them in your world will naturally generate. And so we're going to try and tell this kind of lore and the story, the backstory of the world through some of the things that you can discover when exploring your normal worlds.
Absolutely, and as we continue to build out the game, you're going to find more and more pieces of lore dropped in there, and you're going to be able to eventually build up a better idea of the background of this civilization. One of the things you touched on there, though, was aura. Aura is a very big part of this game. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so as I kind of mentioned, it's in all living things in the world of Reforj, which we intentionally, the first world at least that you generate, looks kind of very Earth-like, which was very intentional because if someone wants to use Reforj to build their house or build London or anything that's on Earth, we didn't want to have pink sky and yellow water, because that would look kind of disgusting anyway, having yellow water. We wanted it to look Earth-like so people can build this sort of things. But it's not set on Earth. It's set on another planet that we don't know. And there's this thing called aura that is in living things. There's different creatures that have it. You can find kind of a crystallized form of it called aurium. And when you mine it, you basically absorb it into your body, and then you can store it in containers or put it in things to power them, like some of our stations. But there's also another race of creatures on this world we call tunnelers, and there's various different types of tunnelers that have different roles. And the more aura you have, the more they hunt you. So you need aura to kind of expand and to level up and to power your empire that you end up creating. But the more you have, the more dangerous the world becomes and the more attracted to you these different tunnelers are as you're kind of wandering around the world. So you kind of need to choose how much aura you want to store on you at any given time.
100%. And so there are a few different mob types. You kind of touched on there the different tunnelers. So currently you'll find the tunneler scout, and there are a few more coming very soon as well. But we have other mobs. We have, for instance, the skimmer, which is a water-based mob. If you defeat them, you can use their skimmer shells to traverse across bodies of water. We've got the kibby, who is very much a community.
I wonder, are there any kibbies or any creatures around you at the moment?
A mob's disabled in here currently.
Oh, they're turned off. So no, there's not any. Sorry. Okay. But if you you can see them online. Also, we'll mention again later on. But we are at the show. We have a booth. So this game is totally playable. So for those of you that kind of like these sort of sandbox survival games, like one of the things that we've spent, like the number one kind of priority before everything else was kind of the way the game feels, the way the controls are, how responsive it is, high frame rates, like no matter what you're doing, it was like a huge priority. And so I think for those of you that have played these sort of games a lot, especially those of you who played them on console, we are eventually going to be on PC and PlayStation as well. At the moment, I say just on Xbox, but we're really focused on kind of how it feels with a controller has been a big priority. So I do encourage everyone to kind of put your hands on it as well and kind of see what it feels like to play as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So touching on the platforms there, you kind of touched a little bit on our strategy for early publishing and play testing. So to give a little bit of a breakdown on that, the game is currently accessible on Xbox through the Xbox Insider Hub, which is Microsoft's sort of early access platform that allows
like pre-early access. It's
Exactly.
like early access.
Yeah, we're not even in early access yet. We're in a very pre-alpha stage, but what it means is that players on that platform currently can jump in and give us feedback on where we're at right now. We actually have a very active Discord server with a lot of very keen players who are giving us great ideas every single day. And whenever we release new features, we release an early iteration, we take that feedback, we work on it, what works, what doesn't, we iterate.
And that is public now. So at first it was closed and you'd kind of apply and invite you in, but now, it's not just on the store, you have to go through the Xbox Insider program, but anyone, with an Xbox, either Series S or X, can jump in. So, for free, anyone can kind of play, and we encourage you to do so, give us more feedback.
Absolutely. So, if you do have access to an Xbox right now, you can jump in, and please do join our Discord community as well. There are so many incredible players building incredible things, and we do take on feedback and ideas very seriously. We want to build this game alongside our community, so please do get involved. As Joe noted, though, while it's Xbox currently, we do have plans for Steam and PlayStation eventually, but we don't have any
That's been the number one.
share on that.
Our number one feedback is when's it coming to PC, and it is happening. It is
100%.
happening.
We are working on it. We want to get it in as many hands as possible as soon as possible. But our key focus right now is building out the core experience. Things like gateways that Joe was explaining just now, we're still working on. So we want to build out that core experience. But yeah, lots of amazing stuff coming. Talking a little bit about our community, so it's called the Pioneer Program, the Reforj Pioneer Program. And so on top of being able to play early, give us feedback and all that kind of stuff, we're working on various incentives so that when we do eventually launch an early access or a 1.0 version, we'll be able to sort of give you guys some extras if you join. But as we say, if you're not on that platform right now, we are playable here. We're at the very, very back. I said back is technically the front. We're at the back now. Where the merch and the playlist reward stuff are, we're right opposite there. We've got 4 setups, some in multiplayer as well. So if you want to sort of come and play, build something together, you can. I guess I'll note that's one of our features as well. The game is multiplayer already, despite being in such an early state of development. So I highly recommend jumping in with your friends if you can. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about the sort of update cadence. One of the most important things when we're as early on as we are is, iterate fast, right? So we sort of hinted earlier about an update coming very soon, but we're releasing updates sort of fairly often. So one of the, I think you mentioned farming is coming in an update very soon. These features are, we kind of determine what is most requested by the community, what they want to see, what they want to play. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by Scott's build here. Is this the start of the statue?
Yeah, so that's the start of the statue, and we've got Witherspoons here, which is always in a really nice historic building. You can tell by the chairs that are inside. And then part of the observatory over here.
Is that the observatory there? You need to build the toilets need to be like on the 3rd floor or something. Like there's always like a huge walk to the toilets for some reason in Wetherspoons. It's looking good. I mean, do you want to kind of talk about, like, I guess, like some of like the sculpting and kind of, I guess not even just that, but just some of the other building tools. I kind of spoke briefly about kind of wanting it to feel good in your hands, and so, responsive controls and high frame rate matters for that as well. But there's a lot of the things specifically for sandbox building, like being able to like build ahead of you really rapidly, or being able to build on a surface that you're not facing. So say if you're on the ground and you're trying to build like a wall up above you, you don't need to keep constantly building scaffolding to place it and then destroy the scaffolding. You can kind of look up and like easily build above you. And that's the same for destroying. We call them elements, not blocks, because it doesn't make sense to call them blocks because they could be all of these many different shapes. So you can kind of sculpt very rapidly or build very, very fast like this. And this is kind of one of the things, using our own engine, it's really efficient at these kind of things, because what it's actually doing, it's not, when you're saving the world, it's not saving the world as it is. Basically, it knows the seed of the world. It knows the way it's generated. So all it actually needs to save is the changes that you make to the world, which means that the world saves are really, really small. So in the future, when you're going to be able to share worlds with each other or download worlds, it just means that they run really efficiently. And then there's some stuff we can't show here because this is just, we're just running what is publicly available version, but in the engine, we also have a bunch of creative tools that allow us to do things like copy huge parts of the world to paste them, or like affect the terrain, like raise and lower and flatten it, or like change things or explode things. And the plan is eventually to bring that stuff into the public version. So not have that stuff, you know, through access through like third-party mods, have it running efficiently in-game on consoles as well as on PC, because it's all stuff that's in the engine, but it's just stuff that we need to kind of polish up and make sure it works well on a controller. Oh, beautiful!
I've done your toilet.
Oh, that's the Wetherspoon's toilet. Amazing. Brilliant.
That is very much what it feels like to try and find the toilets.
I'm a little bit worried about the observatory being underneath that toilet, though. The way they're lined up is a little bit worrying. I'd be a little bit nervous using that toilet.
I want to look up.
Yeah. Sorry, we've just made you completely ruin your build now by building that thing in the background. Right, sorry, we'll let you, because you've probably got a few minutes left to kind of finish off what you want to do. And then is there any kind of other topics about Reforj that we haven't covered?
Oh, God, there's all sorts. I mean, we haven't really spoken too much about the different biomes across the world as well. So what you're seeing around you in the game right now is obviously a lot of greenery. But in each world you generate, there are a collection of different biomes you can visit. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about those?
Yeah, so we have quite a lot of granular control over them. So at the moment, as we're kind of still adding in features, they don't look vastly different yet, but as we kind of add more types of plant life and more creatures, we essentially have environments, which is like a large area, and then we have sub-biomes within them. So we could have a desert, which might be, as you expect, mostly sand, but then we could have an oasis, and we could have different types of plants and creatures there. And then it also carries across to underground, which is something that we've not really shown yet. There's a really cool another procedural system for generating all of the caves under the ground, and they're also affected by kind of what environment they're in. So we can have certain ores that will only be in one area, or certain mobs that only be in another area under the ground. And so the idea is to have, you know, a lot of variety, not just within the different environments in a world, but then if you generate a new world with a new seed, that will hopefully have some strange distinctive feature that you didn't get in the previous world. And then once we get into kind of gateways and being able to affect that, and you could say, hey, I want a world with really tall mountains and watery, you know, with the plan is, you know, to have features that normally might be in other games like this, like done through a mod or done through menus before you load up a game, but actually have that as part of the gameplay, have that as part of the progression. You're being able to create these kind of weird worlds. So that's kind of one of the fun things. I mean, we're always doing it is, you know, when you find some strange thing or some weird, like we get these nice rivers that go through caves or something, like we share them among the team, or when someone finds a good a good seed, we always kind of like save it and like share it with people. That's kind of part of the fun, discovering them. And yeah, here we can see, I guess you've gone underground, finding a cave. You can light it up. You can actually maybe show the blaster as well, would be quite fun. One of the cool things in the game is you can fire anything from your hand. So literally anything you have in your hotbar, you can just shoot, and it will just stick to walls. And so obviously you could use that for building. You could like build a bridge over a gap or something. But one of the cool things is you can use it to fire lights. So you could shoot like like lumen stone or torches, which is one of the things we have, or spignite, which is our explosive substance in the game. You could use it to fire that. You could fire it to damage enemies. And so we basically want to keep expanding this, so making it so obvious things where, oh, if I fired this, I could boost myself up, or I could fire a poison thing to poison someone. So rather than kind of just having, this is the weapon that you shoot and do damage with, it's kind of a really versatile system where you can just fire anything. Like you can create a workbench and fire it into trees and just put workbenches into trees to like build whatever you want. And then when you get into multiplayer and everyone's kind of firing these sort of things, it gets a little bit chaotic. I remember some of the early play tests when we were first playing around with this, and there's just all these weird, because it does it in an archway. If you keep firing, you can kind of make like a perfect like arch bridge, or just blow up trees as well if you want.
I was going to say, we find most players, when they discover the blaster, especially in multiplayer, just immediately start firing things at each other. We actually saw a little glimpse down there when we were underground. We got so distracted trying to find a kibby, we didn't talk about all the mobs. One of my favorites is called a boom shroom, and we found one of these guys earlier. They disguise themselves as a sort of naturally occurring sort of, is it a plant technically?
Yeah, like a mushroom.
Yeah. But you might find you go to pick up this mushroom, it comes out of the ground, it's this enemy called a boom shroom, and it just,
oh, there we go.
Explodes.
There's
there we go. We've got one right there.
It's not too focused on us right now, so we're in creative, but...
Yeah, we're in creative, so it's being very chill with us right now, but these guys are deadly in survival mode.
It might be fun to show some of the explosions as well with the boom. So you saw there's the spignite, which is what they drop, and then you can make them into boom blocks, which create bigger explosions. But that's one of the things the engine can deal really well. It's just really fun blowing things up in this world and making holes through mountains and stuff. No trees are safe.
The Blast is great fun. We also, as part of our community initiative, we run weekly challenges with our pioneers. So every Friday we set either a build challenge or a gameplay challenge. They'll go away, either build, create the thing, submit it a week later. And one of our challenges we did early on when the Blaster was introduced was a painting challenge. We got everyone to set up a canvas, use the Blaster to try and aim and shoot elements of different colors, try and create a painting. And that was incredible. There were some really great submissions, actually. Considering how hard it can be to aim that thing, we got a version of Van Gogh's Starry Night.
Yeah.
And that looked absolutely incredible. We've got some really, really creative builds from our players. And we use those to kind of inspire those challenges as well. In fact, just the challenge that's ongoing at the moment, we have a user who is very into vehicles. And particularly buses, and they've been recreating these specific bus models and using the sculpting, like element sculpting, to create really specific builds that look incredibly realistic. I think that's one of the best things about this game and stands out in the genre is you can make so much more complex geometry with the sculpting system, and it's really cool to see what our players are doing with it. So I'll give all the Discord details afterwards, and you'll be able to talk to us at the booth afterwards if you want more information on that, and we can get you in there. Scott, do you want to chuck some boom blocks here and there across the building as we go along? We'll talk a little bit about that at the end. We'll have a little bit of fun with that.
Oh, are you blowing up the Weatherspoons?
No.
No. This is looking really good. Oh, there we go. Look at that.
Just decoration.
Oh, I didn't see you'd added all the tables and chairs in. Yeah, this is one of the things we're expanding as kind of some of the different furniture and things. That's actually one of the things you're working on, Scott, right? It's coming up with... So, because Scott's one of the master builders. So Scott's been at 4J Studios. For how long have you been at 4J Studios for?
Nearly 11 years.
11 years.
A long time.
So he's been there since the days when 4J Studios were doing the ports for the console versions of Minecraft, and he was hired as an expert Minecraft builder, and now has crossing over to doing Reforj building. So whenever we're trying to come up with like what shapes do we want to add to the game or what new features, we normally just say like, hey Scott, like what do you need? What are you missing? Like what would make your life easier? And then that's kind of often the first step for a lot of the things we add in.
100%. So we've about crossed that half an hour mark. So I think we're going to start wrapping up. We'll start wrapping up now so that Scott's got a little bit of time to do his finishing touches on this master build right here. So I'll quickly go over again just some of the details. So firstly, if you do want to come by and check out the game, we are just the other side where the merch stand is. We're directly opposite it. We've got 4 setups, so by all means come along. Some of those are in multiplayer if you want to play with your friends. It's up to you whether you want to play creative or survival. You can explore it as much as you like. If you have access to an Xbox Series S or X, you can join the Pioneer Playtest program right now by going to the Xbox Insider Hub. Go on previews. We're literally, I think, the second game listed, and now anyone can join. So there's no entry requirements besides the console you own. As we say, there are updates coming all the time. We've got a very big one coming next week. And you can join our Discord. Not that you'll remember the URL, but it's fairly simple. It's discord.gg/Reforj. But you can find us on all socials, 4J Studios or Reforj Game, and you'll find details there on how to join. Even if you're not on Xbox, you're not able to play currently, we post all our updates there. We get involved with the community, and you'll be the first to hear when it is coming to other platforms as well. But before we wrap up, is there anything else you want to say?
No, I think we covered it well. I guess we'll have one last look at the Weatherspoons before.
Let's have a look.
Before I think it might disappear.
We've got some nice windows over here.
Does anyone in the audience have any feedback for this Weatherspoons? Does anyone have any upgrades that they wish that they could see here? Someone's got feedback. If you don't mind, I'm going to actually let
Absolutely.
I'm going to let.
Oh, there we go. Go on.
There's a microphone coming your way. Yeah.
Okay, some of the arcades, or the pillars for the arcade, aren't like fully circular. Is that intentional?
No, that was just me being quick.
You have a good eye to be able to spot that.
You've got a very critical audience here. Are there any other upgrades that someone wish this one Weatherspoons with a large statue on the ceiling could have? I have someone with a hand up over here.
Excellent.
I'm going to let them rip into this building.
Come on, it's such a fancy Weatherspoons. Look at it. It's got pillars.
You could probably add a lovely garden to it.
Garden. Okay.
I didn't catch that. Sorry.
You could probably add a lovely garden to it.
You want to add a lovely garden to the Weatherspoon?
Yeah, will we get some red flowers, is it? Is it red flowers we need? Red flowers?
Maybe like pink.
Pink flowers.
Like a pink heart, I think he wants. Yes. If I'm reading between the lines. Also, if as Cam said, we're going to be there the whole time. So if you do have any kind of questions or whatever, there'll be one of us around at the booth kind of over the next couple days. And even if you're not able to play, if you did want to join the Discord or the socials, like we're very responsive. Like we basically, I mean, Callum, you probably see every comment about the game, every bit of feedback.
Absolutely. I live in that Discord, basically.
Yeah.
So.
And it doesn't stay there, right? Like every single week we're speaking with the game director and the creative director and the lead designer about the feedback, and it creates immediate change sometimes. So
100%, yeah. A lot of key members of our team are very active in that Discord and read everything that comes through. And we take that very seriously. We want to build the game very much alongside the community and build the game that players of this genre want to see. So if there are ideas you have even if you've not seen or played any Reforj before today, before any of this, feel free to jump in. If you had ideas that you would love to see in this type of game, come in, throw the ideas at us. It might be something we look to implement. So yeah, do come by and play. Also, come grab stickers. We've got a whole bunch of stickers in our booth, one for all of the current mobs in the current build of the game, the logos and all that kind of stuff, so be sure to come by. If anyone is in the audience who is already part of our Pioneer program as well, let us know. We've got some special Pioneer stickers for you guys as well, so there's a lot of good stuff there. Excellent. Shall we have a good look at this build then, how it finally ended up? Look at that. We've got that statue on top. It's a very beautiful Weatherspoons.
Did I complete the
Look
task?
at those archways.
Is it all 3? Is the task completed?
The task is done, yeah. It's beautiful. And the additional sky-high toilet as well.
Audiences, can we get a round of applause, please, for the Weatherspoons Rio with a roof garden and observatory?
Thank you very much.